I'm Tanika Meeks, and this is Stefan Fears, and welcome to the Get Real Dating series. What's our dating tip for the month?
You got this one.
So my dating tip for the month is, I had kind of made in my mind I was actually going to start dating. I'm like, I'm doing this dating series, let me get out here and see how the dating game is going. I lied. Now, I know some of y'all think like, how's that a dating tip? And she just talking about you lied about dating. I'm going to tell you the reason why I decided to take a step back and not date. Where my life is and the things I'm doing in my life, I just realized I didn't have time for another person. And the dating tip for this month is really evaluate your life before you get out there. If you know you work a job where you work a lot of hours, or you have a lot of responsibilities, or you have, you're a single parent, either mother or father, and you have kids and you have responsibilities, evaluate how much time you have to put in a relationship before you decide to get out there. Don't go out and get out there and find some wonderful person and then be like, well, I'm sorry, I got these obligations. I don't have time for you. Can we reschedule this? Can I get a rain check? Check your own life first. If you don't have time for another person, if you know that you have other things to do, sit on the bench like me. I told myself, I was like, I'm going to get out here. I'm going to start dating. I'm going to find me somebody. But once I evaluated my life, right now in my life, that's not feasible. I have so many projects, from exposure to Get Real to creative writing stories I'm doing. It eats up all my free time. And I don't want to find some wonderful man and miss out on a wonderful opportunity because I don't have the time, energy, and effort to put into it. So dating tip of the month, evaluate your life. Evaluate whether or not you have time for another person, because you may not. And it's nothing wrong with that. You may be working on yourself. That may be self-love, self-growth. You may be trying to get a promotion at work. You may be trying to build a business from scratch. You may be doing any number of things that you just don't have time to date. And that's honestly, to me, a beautiful thing. I don't see anything wrong with being real with yourself about what you have to give to another person. Any thoughts on that?
I agree.
Wow. Okay. Okay, so that's the dating tip of the month. So our topic for today, we're going to talk about it in two parts. Fidelity. Fidelity as far as just relationships, and fidelity as far as marriages. And so let's talk about this. At what point, or is this just assumed? Because I'm going to tell you my point of view on the first topic. And not one of my relationships that I can think of did I ever sit down and talk about whether or not me and that person were going to be monogamous, whether we were going to be in a faithful, committed, exclusive relationship. I just assumed that once we became boyfriend and girlfriend, or once we had titles, it was understood. Mm-hmm. But is that a misnomer? Is that, I guess my question is, if you don't...
No.
You don't think so?
No, no, I don't. I mean, somebody asked you to be the whole boyfriend girlfriend thing. You would think y'all together unless somebody says you want to be boyfriend girlfriend. Then they say, but I don't want to be monogamous with you. It's like, okay, that's that whole new age open relationship type stuff. But most people, when they say boyfriend and girlfriend, it's understood that it's we're together. It's monogamous. I'm with you, you with me. But some people, some dudes, and some women who are asking to be boyfriend and girlfriend with somebody would still be able to sleep around with other people.
Well, okay, so I'm going to bring up a situation too, because I told you today I'm playing the devil's advocate. So, I dated a guy, and he was in a monogamous relationship. And honestly, I've heard about this not once, but twice. Monogamous relationship with bisexual women. And it was understood that even though she was with him, she still wanted to have her relationships, or, sexual encounters, I'll put it that way. With females.
Some dudes are okay with that.
And I've heard from two different men that they have been in relationships where them and the women have, been boyfriend and girlfriend, but yet the woman would go get outside women for them to share, if that makes sense.
No, that makes perfect. It's a lot of people. I know some people. Yeah. I wouldn't necessarily do that because that's not my cup of tea. Well, if you got married, you wouldn't have threesomes. No, but that's just me. I mean, if you don't take them serious, you ain't planning on marrying them, sure, but. I know some people in relationships that do that. They do the whole threesome shebang.
So should it be assumed? Is that something that should be, like you said, it's assumed, but we all know what they say about assumptions.
Yeah.
So should that be something when you're thinking about, you and this person are talking about being exclusive or, giving each other those titles, should that be a topic of conversation? Is that something that needs to be put on the table and discussed versus someone saying, oh, well, I thought or I assumed we were monogamous?
Man, I would honestly say it's not. Don't need to be discussed, because once you ask somebody to be your, if a chick asks the man to be her boyfriend and he say yes, I feel like it's understood. If a dude asks a chick to be her girlfriend, she say yes, I feel like it's understood. Now there might be some people disagree and be like, no, what y'all need to talk about the whole detail of the relationship. Like, I didn't think that was a detail in the relationship that we gonna be just together when girlfriend boyfriend mean y'all or an item, you know. So I mean, but you want to put a caveat on the relationship like that. I mean, y'all humans, you can, but I don't think it needs to really. I don't think it needs to be discussed. I feel like it's understood once you be boyfriend and girlfriend that y'all one and one. I don't, unless the dude. Yeah, somebody would have to throw that in there after the fact of like, I want you to be my girlfriend, but I want to still be able to sleep with other women. And then a woman would have to agree with that. Most women wouldn't, but some women will. And then a woman could say that, well, I want you to be my boyfriend, but I want to sleep with other dudes. Now, most dudes in the right mind are going to say no to that. And most women know that. So they wouldn't say that. They probably should do it without telling them. But maybe he might be a simp. I don't know. He might be okay with that and be like, yeah, you can sleep with other guys. Like, right, but I don't know. I didn't think that needed to be discussed. That's a weird question.
Well, I mean, okay, so we're talking about fidelity, but let's, flip that card over. Getting in a relationship with someone and assuming they're going to be faithful, and then you find out, okay, well, they're not being faithful.
Then you break up with them, because that's what relationships are. I feel like relationships mean you're being faithful. Unless, again, y'all done sitting and talked about the details of your relationship, which a lot of people nowadays do got these weird relationships going on. It's just the weird shit going on nowadays. We live in a real weird age where it's a lot of that weirdo stuff going on. But I feel like the foundations of relationship are understood. They're the foundations of a relationship stand on. But yeah, people tweaking their relationships nowadays where, dude can cheat, woman can cheat, they can do threesomes, or dude run train on this girl. I don't know, man. People doing all types of stuff.
But I mean, again, with this day and age, is it safe to assume that when people are being so open to different things, when people are out here truly exploring their sexuality? I would say
when you're in a relationship, I'll say it is safe to assume y'all gonna be monogamous, only doing each other. But I feel like it is safe to assume. But maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just me.
Well, see, to me, I'm the flip side of that thought. I don't think it's safe to assume anymore. So I think A, a lot of people don't want to be monogamous. And then B, I think as long as people who are in relationships, like we talked about on one of our episodes, outside of marriage, you single.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of married people who single.
Act like they're single.
Oh, ain't that the truth? So until y'all both sign your name on that marriage document and, you stand before someone and get married, that person technically is single.
Yeah.
Now, it's only whether or not it's understood between the two of y'all that, hey, I'm with them, they with me, we're monogamous. But you assuming they understand that to me is a risk.
Well, you're right. I guess you're right. I would still assume if we girlfriend and boyfriend, we ain't doing that, but there's some people out there who don't function like that.
And again, like I said, I've met two guys I've known who have met women who were bisexual or who wanted to have relationships with women. So for a man to be like, oh, well, she's my girlfriend, well, maybe she has a kind of a lust and a thirst for something outside the sausage. I guess that's the...
But that's the thing in society, though. It's okay for women to do that, and a lot of dudes are perfectly fine with that. And now she starts banging other dudes. Most dudes gonna break up with her. But she's messing around with women. A lot of dudes are perfectly fine with that. They gonna tell her the same thing. Just bring her back to the house so I can oversee the whole deal and I can be a part of it. That's what most men I talk to say. But yeah, women cheating on dudes is probably a no go. But some women are okay with their dudes, having her as a girlfriend and still being able to mess with other women. Or some women will just say the same thing as long as I'm involved. Which people run weird relationships nowadays, but. I'm classic, man. I wouldn't do all that, but I know I've met and I know a lot of people, and I've talked to people who do and they will. So,
well, and again, if they say you have to read the room, and the dating game has changed very dramatically over the last couple years, and people are more open to other things. And so should the foundations of relationships, do they need to be questioned? Like you said, those things that used to be understood, are they still understood today?
I would say in a large part, yes, but in a small part, no. But I would say in a large part, yeah, I would. No, I would.
You a very trusted man.
if I asked a woman, which I wouldn't do it knowing what I know now, and I would never ask a woman to be my girlfriend. But if a woman came to me and said, well, she wanted a commitment from me, then at that point, then you discuss it. I'll give you a commitment, or I'll give you a commitment. Man, you can give it to me.
Sorry. I'm not giving you the Rona.
I would, if a woman asked me for a commitment, I would either give it to her or I wouldn't. Which it's funny because I've been asked that, but most of the time I don't give women commitment. But if I was, I probably wouldn't cheat on her unless I was a multi-millionaire, which I'm not. So therefore, I would be faithful to one woman. But I feel like most people feel that way. But there are some dudes who be like, I want you, but I still want to see my exercise options. If I find something else that's just as nice as you or better, I want to exercise the option to pursue her while keeping you, which is crazy, but people do it. I say that's only reserved for a certain amount of people, but most people in general, I feel like, should be in committed relationships, one-on-one, but people got crazy things going on nowadays. So.
But I do feel like, I think cheating is no longer just for those with money in the bank. Yeah, your average dude to cheat.
Yeah, a lot of yeah. Well, yeah, that's why it's called cheating. It's not right to do. The world is a lot of people in the world are okay with that. Like I said, especially if you're a special type of man, people are okay with you exercising options. They don't even call it cheating. But for all us 99.9.9, it's cheating. If you with a chick, relationship, engaged, marriage, and you step out, it's cheating. But It's some people accept it in men. It's never really accepted in women. If women step out, because women step out mentally first before they step out physically on a man. Dudes, we have sex so detached it doesn't matter. Dudes can bang 10 chicks and be just fine with it. A woman can't bang, she can't give her body to 10 different men like that. It'll mess her up. Women don't. Oh, I can have sex emotionally detached too. Maybe some women can, but you're not doing it in the masses that men can do it in. Men can do it from 18 till death and not care. Women ain't gonna get down like that. Y'all just not wired.
I do know you and I both know a female who is built to do that crap.
I'm trying to think who you're talking about. What?
We have someone in common. Yeah. Think about that real quick. Well, I'm just saying. Okay, so let's talk about that. We're talking about being faithful, committed, and cheating. You brought up the fact that women cheat mentally. Now, I'm gonna put something out here that I wouldn't normally do. I am not sexually a cheater, but I will mentally cheat.
And that's those are the interdynamics of women and men, like they say. Dudes show love and commitment one way. Women show love and commitment one way. A lot of people, especially women have the worst with this. They try to group the way they do something is the way we should do something. And most older men definitely know we don't show love and affection, and we don't do everything the same. A woman gonna show her love to you by not sleeping around on you. A man gonna show his love to you by protection, by providing, protecting, provision. Giving you a roof, buying you cars, taking you on vacations, giving you all his love and affection. That's how dudes show commitment. A dude might not show his commitment. He might be 50 and millionaire. He might bang some 20-year-old, but that doesn't mean he doesn't love his wife. Women that can't really do that, because woman bangs another man, she would been thinking about that. She was all long gone mentally before she opened her legs up to him. And the world knows this. They won't say it, but the world knows dudes can have sex so detached it doesn't matter. But women don't really do that. That's why dudes can have 4 wives and women can't.
I hope a woman ain't got 4 wives.
Four husbands. You know what I mean. A chick getting banged out by 4 dudes is just ridiculous, but a dude can lay in bed with 4 women and it is what it is. But that's only the kings and rulers of society throughout history have done that. Everybody run out with 1,000 concubines and wives. Then again, it's reserved for a certain type of human beings on the planet. Everybody can't get down like that. The 99.9% of people, you work your job or start your business, you get married, you live happy ever after. You ain't run around here with a girlfriend, a wife, a mistress, a side chick. That's only reserved for a small percentage of people.
Well, I'm gonna contradict that because I was approached He was your regular average working Joe. You know, this man was nothing spectacular. His wife wasn't either. And
he must have had an amazing game to pull that off.
I don't know if it was understood between him or her. I don't know if he just went behind her back, or I don't know the agreement between, you know, whether or not it was understood that he could step out on her.
So he might have told her, he might have just been cheating on her and she didn't know. Okay.
And he was serial about it. The way I was approached about it is that he always kept someone on the side.
She know. Women know when their husband's cheating. Most women just, if the situation is comfortable, most women just won't say nothing. Divorce him, then what? So if a woman in a good situation, she know her man cheating. She just might not say nothing. It's crazy to say that because I feel like I've met married women who know their husbands are stepping out, but they don't. They've been together 20, 30, 40 years. They just don't care, or it's just not worth it for them to go through the hassle of all that divorce and stuff. So they stay.
And to me, he had an interest in me, you know, approached me about being his side piece, for which I was honestly very offended. So I was like, look at you and look at me, bro. Does that make sense? And then you asking me to be the side, bro. He almost got his feelings hurt that day. But again, he was your average Joe man. You know, this man was nothing spectacular. And again, neither was his wife. No, he was not no six-figure man. He was just your average working dude whose wife may have been okay with the situation between him and her, as long as I know women, the agreement between them and their husband is as long as you come home at night.
Yeah.
And again, these are not six-figure high-value men.
As long as you
these are just regular Joe men.
As long as you can step out on me physically, but as long as you don't step out on me mentally, is what women don't want you to do. Once you start giving your resources, time, energy, and all this other stuff to women, now you're really cheating. But someone don't care if you just give your meat to another woman. They wives don't care because they know what it is. Some women will never admit it, but they know what it is. Like, if I did that means I don't even love this dude no more. But if he did that, man, he's 55 and that girl was 20-something. I thought she was beautiful. So, you know, they know their husband's sleeping with them, but, you know, that's a cold horse reality. But
again, it's not just cheating. To me, I feel like it's not just exclusively for those with means. There are regular men out here who were
most regular dudes are cheating. But it's called cheating for them. It's called exercising options for the 1%. But for everybody else, you're cheating. You're cheating.
But I mean, is it really cheating if your wife knows you're doing it?
I was just about to say
if she's, I'm not gonna necessarily say okay, but maybe turning a blind eye to the whole situation. I mean, is it really cheating if both parties? I'm not gonna necessarily even agree on it. If like you said, if it's understood that that's what's happening.
It's just that's their setup, man, and it's a lot more and more couples that are having that type of setup. So there's a lot more couples that are with that. You know, he doing this over here, she doing that over there, but they together. It's like, I don't know. It's not something I would ever personally do, but it's becoming much more prevalent. We're talking about it. It's becoming much more prevalent. And like you're saying, it ain't just the 1%, 10% of guys who are doing it. It's some average Joe dudes who got a wife, a girlfriend, and a side chick. And I'm like, damn, bro, you got time for that? Like, ain't that many hours in a day, but you know.
And so, I mean, it's again. So that brings me back to my initial comment. Is that supposed to be assumed that it's understood that someone's going to get in a relationship and be faithful, especially with the simple fact that, you know, a lot of people are exploring or bi-curious, you know, or women who are now kind of openly bisexual, men who are now openly bisexual, that everybody kind of wants to eat their cake and have it too. I mean, that people are expecting to get into relationships, but yet kind of cater the relationship to their comfort. So I want to be with you and them too. Like,
I would never do that with a woman. Cause obviously I'm not the type of the guy. I got a side note though. Dudes mess with chicks who mess with chicks. Do you think that women still like messing with dudes who mess with other dudes?
I ain't never heard of that one.
Would you? If a dude told you, oh, y'all used to do that and that, would you be like, oh, okay, cool, we can hang out? Would you be like, oh, no, this nigga, you what? Like, I always wondered that about, you know, when I never really asked a woman
I'm going to tell you something that I find to be, now this is going to, don't judge me, but this is so true with me. So, Donnie was it McClarkin the singer, the gay, well, was it McClure, Don?
Was he a gospel singer?
Yeah, the gospel singer.
I know the name, I heard the name.
And you know, he struggled with his sexuality for the longest.
I did not know that. How you going to be a gospel singer? What you get? Anyway, keep going.
Well, that's his whole thing. He has made up his mind. I think in the past he has had relations with men. Yeah. You know, due to his faith and stuff, I don't think he wants to go that route again.
Yeah, well, we know man code. Once you gave favor, but keep going.
But I mean, to me now, I'm gonna say this, and if you're watching, Donnie, hit me up. Actually, no, I don't have time for you either, bro. I'm gonna just be real about that. If a man were to approach me and say, I've had bisexual encounters, would he automatically be disqualified? No. Now, my question to him would be, do you still want to have those encounters? Because let's face it, there are a lot of women who have no problems putting the strap on and wearing the dude out. That's weird. I mean, I've seen strap-ons with, penises this long on them. Like, the sex market is absurd.
There. Yeah, it's out there.
But, I mean, for a lot of men, especially men that who have faith, who don't want to explore having relationships with other men, but yet they still want that part of them tickled, if that's what I don't even know how to say that. But I don't think that would be an automatic disclaimer for me. Man, that you have been bent over and probably ran through by.
You ain't gonna take them serious. you wouldn't take them serious. You would deal with them if they were good looking or whatever. You would. I don't feel like you would take them serious. Like, then this dude gay. Like, man, you done ran up in. And then if he ever asked you to do with a strap on, you would never respect him or take him serious. But you would still like him.
You will be amazed how many women, and this is not talked about by women, already fingering they dudes. Already in their own little way running up in the back.
I was thinking about that too. Like, if you were in a straight relationship and your chick sticking her finger in her butt or she ever strap on you, bro, you're border. You ain't even borderline anymore. Like, it's kind of official. Like, bro, like, no, women, no.
Well, I mean, I went to the nail shop and I had a nail tech. You go to the nail shop to get your nails done and, shit, okay, well, I guess that's a moot point. I forgot to put the microphones in, so we're just using the speakers on the phone. Okay. That's why I just had that major pause, like, whatever. I had a nail tech. I used to go and get my nails done, and she said there's a lady who, her long finger, this one, she never got that done, and the lady just asked her why. Like, you get she was in there every 2 weeks, and one of those people who maintain. But the lady told her that's reserved for her husband. That finger is reserved for what she does to him.
That's weird. That's weird.
And so, I think men are exploring. As I said, more and more people are exploring their sexuality. They're not necessarily putting labels on it.
It's always been acceptable for women to be, when two women kiss, everybody looks and it's acceptable. Two men hug each other and start kissing, people make a funky face like what I'm doing, or people turn their head. It's just not acceptable as much in some circles. And some people, everybody's cool with the whole gay movement. But yeah, nobody want to see two dudes doing all that. But yeah, to me, if you do it once, you forever with it. But yeah, I think it's a double standard, because men will accept women back who been bisexual or play with women. I don't think most women will accept men back after they've been tampered with. Because as a man, it's your masculinity. Like, you turned yourself to a bitch. Like, it's understood. Like, man, once you do that, bro, it's just weird to me, because I feel like I'm alpha. I would never even think about it. But some dudes that's just weird, man. That's just weird.
No, I mean, I don't look at necessarily and we've gotten off on a tangent from the whole Fidelity comment, but I do think this should be part of it, because I don't know I know for a lot of women, if they step out with women, a lot of them don't consider that cheating. Like, because they are not out there having, with another man. In their mind, they assume that's not cheating. So for a man to be out there having relationships with a man, especially if y'all haven't had that conversation, is that cheating?
Yeah, man to man is just it's cheating. It's just that's crazy. But you said that's crazy.
I mean, because there are a lot of people who are bisexual. They want to have the pleasures of both.
That's weird.
I really do think in relationship I personally feel like that's why the conversation should be had, because you no longer have to just worry about your partner cheating. If you're a woman, that your man is going to go out and find another woman. He may be out there cheating with other men.
But I feel like before y'all even get in a relationship, women should know that already. If he had that past, or if he wants to explore some stuff like that,
But a lot of men are not forward about that. Especially, I will say this, especially black men. Black men are not forward about their, especially when it comes to homosexuality or being bisexual.
Frowned upon. It's very frowned upon.
I mean, that's why that whole down low crap in Atlanta became such a big explosion, because these were married men with wives and families who were out here having relationships with other men.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So as a woman, you out here, thinking he hitting on the waitress, but he ain't concerned about the waitress. He over here looking at the dude in the table next to y'all, giving him the wink wink and the side eye, and you clueless.
That's crazy.
You see what you
I'm kind of speechless, man. That's just crazy, man. I don't know what to say about that.
I think we've hit a milestone with Stefan. It's just like, I have no words for what we're talking about right now.
Dudes cheating on their chicks with other dudes is just like, whoa. Most women will break up with a man if he does that. I don't think most women will be like, oh, yeah, I'll take you back, Johnny. Like, they're going to be like, no, you didn't just cheat on me, but you cheated on me with another man. Like, this relationship is over. Like, you're gay. I didn't know. Like, most women would walk away. There's some women, a few women that probably wouldn't, but most women would be like, yeah, it's over with. Most women don't like getting cheated on with another woman. They thought that we was a relationship and it was mutually understood. I don't think it need to be explained when people get in relationships, but if you with somebody whose past has been sketchy, then if you ask them to be your boyfriend or girlfriend, then y'all probably should talk about the details of the relationship. Like, what type of relationship is this? Is it open? Can you do this? Can I do this? Like, I'm classic straight laced. I ain't discussing that. And when she asked me for the commitment, I'm either gonna give it to her or I'm not gonna give it to her. We ain't no caveats to it. But a lot of people ain't like me. So a lot of people, they got some crazy, exceptions to their relationships. But yeah, I ain't doing all that. Chick asked me for commitment. Most of them I'm like, no. But that one blue moon, I'm like, yeah, we can do this. But so that's crazy, man.
You seem like you having a hard time with that last topic.
That's just crazy. Dudes want other dudes. It's always been a funny topic to me. It's crazy.
But I think, again, that's the world we live in. It's becoming more and more prevalent. And then there's also the whole thing with, because someone was born one way, that may not be the way that they're living their life. Mm-hmm. So to me, you add even another complication. And this, to me, where I would think I would truly lose my shit with somebody. I'm with somebody, we together. I assume he's cheating with another woman, but that may not even be the case. That could be a man, a transgender person, and you still over here doing some crap you ain't got no business. Like, you just do not know. I know someone right now, not to put anybody on blast, they're a female, and to the world they're marrying a man. But it's a female transitioning into a man. So,
do they know?
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
So, right now they're going to get married, a homosexual couple. But once that person goes through the surgery.
Could be two women.
One of the women is transitioning to a man.
Oh, so it's two women getting married, but one of them's turning. Okay. The world we live in, man. The world we live in.
And so, I think the dynamics to relationships now, it's just a lot going on.
It is.
And I think going into any relationship with anybody with any assumptions, to me, as I said, that's a risk I'm not willing to take with people no more. Like, I've like too many people are bi-curious. I know a lot of young women, especially, are exploring their sexuality younger.
Nowadays is out of hand with him.
So to assume that a woman is just going to be, especially a lot of women don't assume having sex with another woman is a problem.
Exactly. Some of them don't even see the sex. Like, they blow. We didn't do. You don't have the tool, but.
And I'm back to my original topic. Is that something that needs to be discussed with somebody, especially when people have so many options?
Yeah, if you're dealing with certain people, like, I'll talk to a couple girls who had relations with other women. I didn't really take them serious, so I wasn't going to give them a commitment. But yeah, I've dealt with quite a few women who dealt with women. So, to me, it wasn't. I don't know. I guess since I wasn't taking them serious and I knew it wasn't going to get to a relationship, I never really questioned it. But they discussed their past with me about the whole incidents with them and other women. I was just like, oh, that's kind of cool, whatever, I guess, I knew then, like, you not my cup of tea, but, you know, when you just looking for random, you know, fellatios or whatever, you with that. But if you want to marry a woman, some dudes want to admit it, they want to marry certain types of women. And those type of women belong to the streets. You're not going to marry that. You can't. You can, but that's that turning the hoe into a housewife that no smart man would try to do nothing like that.
Fair enough. So we're gonna leave that at the kind of the point. Evaluate yourself, evaluate the type of people you deal with, and evaluate your comfort level with it. You know, to me, I feel like a woman will tell you if she's. Cause I think some women are proud of it. Actually, I think they secretly kind of get like, yeah, you know, I don't know why, but it is what it is.
No, dudes.
I don't think men are as forthcoming. With
some dudes, depending on who they were raised by and their circles of friends and family, they'll be gay and be openly gay about it, not care. Then there's some dudes who you be like, man, he seems so suspect. By the way homie walking, where he looking, where he talk, but he swear he ain't gay. Like, bro, you gay. We all know you gay. It's okay. Just say you gay. Like, we know. I've met some gay dudes who just would not come out and say they're gay. It's like the whole world knows it, bro. Like, just be you, bro. Like, don't try to lie to your family and friends because they shun you for it. They'll accept you sooner or later. Like, just be yourself, man. That's your cup of tea and your preference. Go ahead and do what you do. That's more women for me. But, you know, so.
Okay, so that we were talking about it in terms of kind of that boyfriend-girlfriend relationship. So let's take it to a higher level. You know, let's take it to the level of marriage. You know, you've been with somebody, y'all have, you know, stood before that altar and supposedly have committed yourself to one another. Does that change the playing field? Because again, there are married people who conduct themselves like they're single.
Swingers, threesomes, dudes let other dudes have a wife. I've seen it all, heard it all. Personally, I'm not doing none of that. If I ever choose to get married, I'm not doing that. It's gonna be a classic marriage. Like I'm not doing none of that. But nowadays, man, it seems fair game, man. People don't respect vows. I'm a religious guy, so it's fornicating while you're single is one thing, but I don't believe in if I got married, I wouldn't do it. But that's just me, man. I don't. People probably, but you do it now, yeah, but I'm not married now, so. But it's wrong, still wrong. But I don't know, man. No, if I got married, none of the hanky panky extra stuff is going on in my marriage, but. Some people are with the swinging and the swapping and the threesomes and all the extra stuff. Like, my thing is with threesomes with married couples, a lot of them, it messes them up because, you know, the chicks either get jealous of the chick brought in, or the dude ends up banging the chick that was brought in without his wife being present, and the wife gets mad. I literally have heard these things. I'm just like, man, that's why you shouldn't open that door. I have a story to tell
about that, but I'm not because it's depressing.
That's why they shouldn't open that door, because when you open that door, man, Pandora's box, man, it never goes right. I'm not doing that. But
to your point about what you just said, I knew a lady, her daughter. She was married to a gentleman. They were high school sweethearts. I'm gonna make this quick because I don't want to take up too much time with it. They decided they were gonna go bring an outside lady in. The gentleman picked the lady whom he wanted to be.
He should have let his wife pick, but keep going.
No. He picked.
He should have let his wife pick. Keep going.
The chick he picked only agreed because she liked his wife. She was gay, but she had a thing for the wife. Let's just say the wife ended up deciding that she wanted to be gay too, divorced him to go be with the other woman. Really? And the sad part about it is, within a year of them divorcing, he committed suicide.
Really?
Yes.
Oh,
it became that.
Damn.
To literally, you brought in another person who completely changed the sexuality of your wife. Or maybe the wife was always bi-curious. Who knows?
But she didn't act on it.
Yeah.
But he ruined his own life. That's why I'm never opening that box. Like, if you're gonna do the threesome thing, in my personal opinion, as a young man in America, do it before you get married. I feel like if dudes want classic marriages, most dudes do want to get married. Like, I wouldn't play those games in my marriage. Like, I'm putting my foot down. We ain't that. Do that stuff in your college days, your 20s. You know, if you don't want to get married too later, do it in your 30s. But I wouldn't bring it. I wouldn't be no grown man bringing that into my marriage, because it's like, can you stop her? You can't stop nobody. So, you know. You might have a couple threesomes with your wife, and she might still really liking these girls, and then now you got a problem on your hands, which you just highlighted, dude. Then he committed suicide, which was extra. But I'm like, man, that's crazy.
I mean, but how do you?
I've heard of that going south. Many scenarios. I've heard threesomes going south. That's why I wouldn't do it, because do that with women you don't care about. And I know that sounds cold. Do that with women you don't care about. Don't do it with the one you chose to marry, fool. Like, no, you don't share your wife. You can share the hoes that belong to the streets. But don't be sharing your wife. Nah, that's dumb. And I know an example of a guy who did that. It wasn't really a threesome, in my personal opinion, because it was him, her, and I guess she picked another dude. So I don't know what it was. Sounds like a train. but I guess him and some other dude banged her out, and yeah, she ended up messing with the dude and ended up getting divorced. I'm just like, damn, like what a man, like no, yeah. Threesomes are meant to be done when you're not married. I wouldn't bring it to a marriage. It's just too much. I think it's sloppy, but because the people never really can control themselves or contain themselves in that. You just do all this craziness out here, and then you expect people to stop. Like, oh yeah, we did all this wildness in the bed, me and 2 chicks. And then you expect your wife to stop. What if your wife enjoyed it? She ain't stopping. Like, no, or if the dudes are always gonna enjoy it, so we might not stop. It's like now she mad at you because you done banged 3, 4, 5 chicks. She like, hold on, we were supposed to do a threesome one time, and you over here just cheating on your 4 different women. Like, yeah, man, it's too much. It's too much. I'm gonna do all before I ever get married. I'm getting out of my sister. I ain't doing all that in marriage, but that's just me.
I mean, it's infidelity is, I don't know if it's big or not big. You hear about it. It comes up. Everybody deals with it, differently. The way Jada and Will dealt with it when her. I'm not even gonna call it an affair. Her entanglement, as she calls it, with August Alsina. Yeah. To me, Will took it like a champ. He sat there. He looked this woman in the face. Although he didn't, he clearly was not happy with what she was talking about.
I feel like
they still together.
I feel like with them, though, he knew what was going on. I feel like he okayed it. And then everybody, I don't know them people, but everybody also says that Will had women. So it's just like they stuff just got sloppy and it got blowed out on national TV. But I feel like Will and Jada have had an open relationship for years, and everybody know that. It's just like you got really sloppy with August. So it's just like, what were you doing? Like, quit being sloppy. I'm weird. I look at Will like a symptom because she bringing dude around your kids. He probably had been in their house. It's just like, bro, if Will Smith was cheating on her, a lot of people didn't really know it like that. Unless they really knew Will Smith closely. But she was just flagrant with it, like super flagrant. And she's the woman, like flagrant with it. The dude who owned the Clippers, Donald Sterling, he went through the scandal, had to sell his team because he's sitting courtside with his mistress. Like, he's an 80-year-old. But again, he's in that one. He's an 80-year-old billionaire. He didn't care. His wife knew that she was sitting courtside with him, but she blasted him about being racist. He had to sell his team. It's like he was flagrant with his cheating too. But he was 80-year-old being. He was low key. He was sitting courtside. He wasn't like he was kissing on the chick or nothing like that. But she was with August. That stuff was just she got real flagrant and sloppy with it. But Will ain't gonna divorce her.
I'm about to say they together. I think they done moved past the whole situation, and they kicking it.
They probably still open relationship. They probably just gonna be less sloppy this time. It's like, but I wouldn't want a relationship like that. I wouldn't want nothing like that. That's too much. They doing the most. I'm cool on that.
But I mean, okay, so, not to throw names out there, but if you've been on social media, we do know it's been a recent cheating scandal with, a relationship guru on, who's been big for years. Come to find out, he been doing what he do.
Yeah, several women.
Yes, and it sounds like he's still doing what he do.
Probably.
But yet his wife has chosen, to stand by him, to stand by their vows, to stand by her faith in the vows that they took.
And in their situation, though, I ain't gonna say that. I wouldn't say she don't stand out in the game by divorcing him because she can't replace him. She's not gonna replace. She divorces him, she ain't getting another him. But she can take half everything he got. But I think with the white type of woman she is, she probably don't want to do that. Like, what? So I divorce him, get all this money, then what? Am I gonna get another him? I'm gonna have to go ahead and get with average Joe's or had the stigma of being his ex-wife. Maybe you'll use that clout and go get you a decent man. But she's probably smart. Like, it's just better for me to stay. Him, I'm shocked like a lot of other dudes with him because he could have easily kicked her to the curb and married a model, or just been single and banging model. That's what he wants to do, but he didn't. So it's like, I mean, he kept.
Again, like you said, he's doing the physical with other women. Mm-hmm. Don't mean he does not love his wife. Does not mean he doesn't want to be with her and the family that they created together. He just out giving the meat to other people.
Yeah, he's just a rich man having sex with young hot women. I mean, most dudes accept that as like that's just men. Like, but he's giving her everything. He's showing her how men show their love and affection by doing what he's supposed to. He's taking care of her. He's just out having sex with young women when he's moving around. She is getting all the provisioning, all the money, all the resources. I mean, she getting it all. He's probably giving her sex too, but he just, So to her, it probably wasn't that big of a deal. But it got blown out on the media, so, but I don't think she's as hurt about it as people probably think she is, in my personal opinion.
She don't seem to be hurt about it at all.
I don't think she's hurt about it as people probably think she is, but you know, man, it's tough. Man, that's tough. I bet he's probably just mad that he got caught. Like, why you put me on blast about? I think he had been doing it for years. My personal opinion. I think he had been doing it for years. But you know,
it's that you got sloppy. You got sloppy enough to where your name was big enough that people knew that they could have their 15 minutes of fame off of you. Again, you got sloppy with what you were doing instead of trying to be more low key with it, and instead of trying to keep it, you know, at least I would say respectable. If you're going to cheat, be respectable about it.
There are always unwritten rules of men cheating. Don't bring in diseases, outside babies, and don't be sloppy and get caught. Those have been the rules of cheating for forever. Like people say back in the 50s and 60s, granddad had another family outside of town, but it wasn't sloppy about it. You know, people have been doing it for forever. It's just these dudes get money and they sometimes get caught up. Everybody done got caught up. Tiger, Kobe. I mean, so everybody. There's so many of those level of guys do it. It's just kind of common. I mean, they're normal, but like you said, they're normal guys who are cheating. And if you're a normal guy and you want to do it, just talk to your woman about it. Some women okay with it, some women ain't. Like, I don't know. I believe in the institution of marriage, so I wouldn't do it in that situation. It is a single man. If I want to have one woman, I'm just not gonna get in a relationship. But that's me though. That's just my take on it.
Well, I mean, a lot of people, again, marriage to a lot of people is just a piece of paper.
Really
it is that way that we can put our resources together to have something bigger than what we have. That vow of loving, honoring, and cherishing you to death do us part really don't mean much to a lot of people. And it doesn't hold any weight. And so people do get married with that expectation that I'm still going to act single. I'm still going to be out here doing what I want to do with whom I want to do it with.
I know a lot of those.
And so it's, again, is that something you need to talk about with somebody? Is that a conversation when somebody, you know, your man gets down there on one knee, or there are a lot of women getting down there on one knee now. So, you know, when you proposing to somebody, do you need to talk about that? Is it, to me, I would say naive to assume fidelity?
I didn't think it was. But I just thought maybe it is. Man, I still believe that when the relationship is asked by whoever asked, man or woman, it should be understood what y'all finna do with this. The details. I didn't think it needed to be, but maybe it does need to be. Is this open or is this not open? Are we monogamous? Not monogamous? Like, what are we doing here? But I didn't think it needed to be discussed. But man, with some people, because you know, if you dating a girl who done had a wild past, and as a man you crazy enough to ask to be your girlfriend, then of course in situations like that you have to discuss what's this finna be, like how we finna do this. With most normal people, I would assume, you know, if the chick asked to do what we do, you want to be my boyfriend, and he said, yeah, we can be in a relationship, it wouldn't need to be discussed. There was no open relationship, but that I could cheat or you could cheat. But some people just wired differently. They need to discuss those things. I feel like people know ahead of time before the question got popped on the relationship with who you know who you're dealing with. So you already know, like, we need to discuss this because I know how you get down or how you got down in the past. For real. You know, if you know you got down, if a chick knows she with a dude who his past 3 girlfriends, he was all open relationships with him. If she wants him to be in a relationship with her, she knows she's going to have to ask him to be her boyfriend. Then she's going to ask him to be only her boyfriend. And he might be like, no, I'll be your boyfriend, but I'm going to be in an open relationship, which, you know, some people are down for that. So it just depends on who you're dealing with. I wouldn't deal with those type of women, but, you know, chicks who belong in the streets, I'm trying to, you know, there's only one thing they can give me. But
I mean, what about men? I mean, is there such a term, dudes that belong to the streets outside of drug dealers? I mean, because a lot of your average, and I'm not trying to male bash, but again, just like you were talking about with females, there are men you assume would not cheat on you, but that may be a false assumption.
Every man's
because
capable.
Yes, and any man is capable. You know. It's hard, male or female, to resist temptation, especially if you're put in the proper situation to where you can get it off and you think nobody would know or nobody would ever find out.
I think some ordinary men are scared to do it because they know the woman might leave if they do it, so they don't do that. I mean, dudes. Yeah, I think some dudes are just if they're in a relationship, they're not gonna cheat on their girlfriend because they know she'll leave. There are some dudes though who know she won't, and that's why they'll do it. Which is a sign of weakness. But, you know, with women doing it to men, most men, if a woman cheats on them, they're done. Like dudes have this, it's like a double standard with men and women that if A woman cheats on a man, I'm not staying. You cheat on me, I have to go now. And it's smart. That is a smart double standard. A man shouldn't let a woman cheat on him because it makes you look very, very, very bad and very weak. If a woman cheats, you have to walk. If dudes stay with a woman cheat, man, you just niggas. I mean, it just makes you look, as a man, it makes you look very, 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 very bad. For women will accept it amongst other women in their circles that your boyfriend cheated on you, took him back, and they be like, yeah, blah, 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 blah. And women will justify these things, and their homegirls will be like, okay, because it might have happened to them, and it depends on the guy, but women, it's more justifiable in women's circles. It ain't justifiable with no dudes. Like, bro, she cheated on you, took her, you a dummy. Like, you getting ranked on, and it ain't what it is. They be like, this dude a fool. You pee whipped, you salty, da, da, da. So, yeah, with dudes, nah. A woman cheat on me in a committed relationship, man, that's it. It's over with. I gotta go.
It's a lot to unpack here.
Yeah. like they say, life is sexist, and there are double standards for women and men. People, well, me being you discussing this before we got on camera. People love the double standards that suit them for women and men, but a lot of women complain about the double standards that don't suit them. Like, oh, well, what about all the ones you get that I don't get? You know, so you just got to understand the double standards of life and move accordingly. You can't sit and cry about it. You got to, move accordingly. There are a lot of double standards in life that don't suit men. Some do suit men, and some don't suit women. Some do suit women. So, yeah, I don't complain about them. I'll never get in a club or a bar for free if that's a cover charge. I'm not a pretty woman. I just can't. It ain't happening for me. Oh yeah, you come on in. No, I gotta pay. I gotta pay my way, her way, this one way. It's just as a man, I know I have to pay. What I always say, the burden of performance is on men. So, but anyway.
Any last comments for our fidelity or maybe infidelity conversation we got off on?
Oh man. I don't know, man. If you're classic, keep it classic. If you're not classic, I guess do whatever floats your boat. If you believe in religion, that's stuff you got to handle when you deceased. That the creator got to judge you on all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, live your life for you, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I would never tell people to do what makes them happy because that sounds so bad when you say that phrase. But hey, man, it's different strokes for different folks. Do whatever in your relationship that y'all discuss. But yeah, and self-improvement for men. Self-improvement for men. I heard something earlier today where the dude was like, when women can be straight degenerates. You can smoke all day, drink all day, not exercise, have a bad attitude, but if she's drop dead gorgeous, she can still be around some of the highest level dudes. He's like, as a man, you'll never get that pleasure. And it's very true. When women are beautiful, they can be shitty attitudes, which a lot of pretty girls, some of them do have it. But as a man, you have to perform. You have to build yourself. Women are already born with that inherent value. And it's just like, man, the more I think, I dwell on that, I'm like, then that's so true. As a man, you're judged by what you've accomplished or what you can do or what you have. Women are just judged on their beauty. I'm like, they beauty youth, and they, I'm like, that's just a double. That's the greatest double standard of life to me. And as a man, I don't cry about it and complain about it. I just work.
Don't go off on tangents.
Okay, yeah, I'm going off on tangents. Yeah, self-improvement though. Self-improvement.
My thoughts on the topic. Have that conversation. I don't care if you at that just dating stage, that boyfriend and girlfriend stage, and definitely at that marriage stage. People, and there are a lot of different beliefs out here, and people living their life any old type of way, and don't assume just because he's some nice guy that he faithful or he's going to be faithful. To me, I'd rather have that conversation, lay my cards on the table, you lay your cards on the table, because you may have a losing hand. I'm like, ooh, you a nice guy, but I can't.
I actually agree with you now. I agree with you now. I actually agree with you now. You should have that conversation about the details of a relationship before you get in a relationship.
Because you don't want to be surprised. I mean, once you get feelings for somebody and stuff starts to go south, that's a hard pill. It becomes hard. But before y'all, really start to, feelings start to come into play, have that conversation. So that way, if you need to, end it right then and there, you can make a clean break before things get, too messy and then things going south and, crying for weeks and you ready to kill them and they ready to kill you or whatever the case may be. As grown people, I think the best thing you can learn to do in communication is tell another person what you want and what you expect. Learn to have those conversations with other people early on before feelings get involved or feelings get hurt. And I think that's why relationships are so messy these days, because nobody wants to have those conversations, but everybody wants to be in relationships. My advice is, if you are someone who expects fidelity, be willing to sit down and have that conversation with your partner. Final thoughts before we wrap this up?
I agree. Yeah, them conversations need to be had. Definitely need to be had.
So, I'm Tanika Meeks. This is Stefan Fears. This is the Get Real Dating series. It's a once a month series, although Get Real is actually posted every week by yours truly. Make sure you go out and check out the new Exposure exclusive. A Dog's Life will be up as of Monday, and make sure you check out the other Exposure exclusives, Dark Forest, Snow, and Guardian. Until we talk to you guys next month, we love you guys.